Hello, how are you? How are you? Good, good. All right, good morning Queensland, good morning Brisbane, good morning to all of our Facebook Live followers. So in very good news today, we have 0 new community cases, which is fantastic news. And we have done 15,704 tests over the last 24 hours. So if I can just say to Queenslanders, please continue to go and get tested as you need to. Any symptoms whatsoever, it's really critical. And there were 18,776 vaccines administered by Queensland Health yesterday. So that means we have in Queensland 68.78% have had at least one dose and 50.3% are now fully vaccinated. So that's fantastic news. Well done to Queensland. Now, we've just come from our teleconference with the Chief Health Officer and Yvette Darth, the Health Minister. They're currently in Rockhampton, once again encouraging people to get vaccinated. It's absolutely critical that we get as many people vaccinated as possible. And because we've had such good news over the last week, the Chief Health Officer, Dr. Young, has today advised that we can ease restrictions from 4 p.m. today. So what does that mean? From 4 p.m. today, that means we go back to those stage 3 restrictions. So our pubs, clubs and cafes can have double the number of patrons, 1 per 2 square metres. For our young people, dancing is back. You can have 100 people to your home. Now the other issue that I know has really impacted on people not being able to visit their loved ones in aged care facilities and hospitals, they can all go and do that, which is fantastic from 4 p.m. today. And I know that has been very, very difficult on people. So in relation to restrictions, there are still some restrictions that we need to do. And the first thing, of course, is use that check-in app. And then secondly, it's in relation to masks. So if people can just generally follow these principles, so where you can't socially distance indoors, wear a mask. We would suggest that you continue to wear these masks when you are going into shopping centres, when you go onto public transport. Also, if you are going inside to a cafe, restaurant or pub, you wear your mask going in, you check in, and then you don't need to wear your mask. But if you're feeling compromised that you can't socially distance, then of course the onus is on you if you want to put that mask on. So these masks are very, very vital in terms of stopping any potential spread. But because Queenslanders have done a great job, Dr. Young has advised us this morning that those restrictions can ease. Schools too, I might just mention that we're asking students and teachers to wear the masks, of course, going into the schoolroom and out. They will be applying from next week. But teachers can remove their masks if they're at the front of the class teaching, and the students can remove their masks if they are seated. So that's also easing it for people as well. And of course, this weekend is our big Super Vax weekend. Once again, I'm just urging people to go and get vaccinated. And also the timeline has come up from our last Super Vax weekend of when people are due for their second dose. So we're expecting a lot of people out there this weekend. Yesterday I saw a whole lot of people over at South Bank, over at the Convention Centre getting their vaccination, which is of course great news. So happy to take a few quick questions.
I mean, there seems to be a bit of confusion among people who've been selected for the home quarantine trials. Some have received emails from Queensland Health inviting them to the trial. I've then received another email from Queensland Police saying they're still working through it. Can you tell these people what's going on?
Look, I'm happy to look into that, Tim. Look, what we're doing is the trial is starting on Monday. Of course, people will be coming in on flights during that week. The trial is for 1,000 people who are fully vaccinated. This is something that we have been working on for quite some time, and I'm very pleased that the Commissioner, the Deputy Commissioner and the Chief Health Officer said that we're all set for Monday, and everyone's very excited to hear that.
It sounds like a great program.
Yeah.
Selecting who goes into that.
I think it's the exemptions unit, but I'll check for you. Yes. Yeah. Well, we're working on the 70% double dose first, but my understanding is that we are looking at the end of this month, or it might be early November. We'll get confirmation from that early next week, so I'll be able to advise you on Monday or Tuesday. By the end of October is my understanding. End of October, early November. Yeah. There'll be another National Cabinet meeting next month, and we hope to be in a position then. But we will open when it's safe to do so. So what we're looking at now, we're looking very closely at what's happening in New South Wales and Victoria. I note there was some easing of restrictions in New South Wales. Their vaccination rates are going up quite steadily, which is great. They've had a big outbreak, so people have come out and got vaccinated. But, you know, very concerning, 1,800 cases, I think, from memory in Victoria today. If you think about that, we've had just over 2,000 cases during the whole pandemic. So we really want to see the vaccination rates, right across the country. And please don't forget that we are open to Northern Territory, Western Australia, South Australia and Tasmania.
You mentioned earlier in the week you are concerned about the Gold Coast and other areas. GPs there say they've noticed a steep decline in the number of appointments they're getting at vaccine clinics. Are you worried in particular about the Gold Coast and the vaccine uptake?
Look, I have been concerned about the Gold Coast, about Logan and Beaudesert and Ipswich, which is why we've been actively going around there, and also too in regional Queensland. So we do need everybody. I want to make sure that we have even spread across the state to protect our most vulnerable. So, I'm just urging people out there, if you have not been vaccinated at the moment, please go and get vaccinated. I cannot be clearer. And it is just so inspiring to see so many Queenslanders coming up to me and telling me how they've been vaccinated. I was down the Gold Coast on Monday and I had a person sitting on the next table who said, Annastacia, I've got my vaccine and I'm going to go and tell people in my workplace to get their vaccine. So when people are sending me their photos, go and tell your work colleagues, your friends, please get vaccinated. And of course you can go to your GPs on the Gold Coast to get your vaccine, and we've also got the hubs open as well. Yeah, as Dr. Young said, our critical threshold is that everybody who is eligible to get the vaccine has had the option to get that vaccine. I think that's critical. That is absolutely critical, and I absolutely stand by Dr. Young's. Well, we're working through all that. Depends on the supply. We're getting all of that information, and we'll be modelling that very, very soon. The work's happening.
Yeah, it's a great step forward. There's still thousands of people who don't qualify.
Yeah,
that's been done to bring them.
Yep. So what we're doing is we're doing the first 1,000, and if that works really well, then of course we're going to extend that trial. But like Dr. Young said, one step at a time. Let's see how this goes first. And then I think we will be looking at our vaccination rates and the vaccination rates in New South Wales and Victoria. And then if it goes well and people, the big onus is on people complying. And if people comply and do the right thing, then it'll be all systems go to extend that. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think there's great hope there. We will examine that trial by the end of October, once we've done the first 2 weeks. And we'll be able to make further announcements, I would imagine, by the next National Cabinet meeting. Last one? Yeah.
You mentioned the high rates of vaccination in the ACT.
Yes.
Would you look at perhaps reopening the borders to the ACT so those people who've been double dosed there first before you consider New South Wales and Victoria?
Look, I'll take the advice of Dr. Young. I always take the health advice. But we are seeing, ACT's not open yet to everyone else. So usually what happens is when they open up to everyone else, other states would follow and say that's okay. So look, let's get the advice from Dr. Young, but it's great to see those high vaccination rates, and I'd love to see those high vaccination rates right across the country. Then it would be safe to open up, because you then would not have those surges on your hospitals. Okay? Thank you. Sorry?
Sorry, Peter Field, Frenchman, Smell IU, was sent back to France early.
Sorry, who was?
Oh, Smell IU, because the home stuff.
I'm not aware of that. We'll find out for you. Okay, thank you.